The Aam Aadmi Party has called for a gherao outside Prime Minister Narendra Modi's residence to protest against the arrest of Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal in the liquor policy scam. In a counter-protest, the Bharatiya Janata Party is holding protests demanding Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal's resignation. Security has been beefed up in various parts of Delhi. Moreover, the police has also imposed Section 144 outside the Patel Chowk metro station. According to Delhi police, Aam Aadmi Party has not been granted permission to hold any protests. Once again, the Delhi street war has led to the rise in the difficulties in the lives of the people who live in the city. Various metro stations have been shut. Certain roads in Delhi have been blocked due to the protests, which have led to huge traffic commotion across the city. We'll talk about this with our guest. Joining us on the show is Joyita Basu, editor of the Sunday Guardian. Also with us is Mr. Akil Khan, political analyst. He also joins me from the studio. Mr. Rishi Bagri, political analyst, also with us on the program. Mr. Piyush Pant, political analyst, joins us on the show to talk more about this. And also with us on the show is Mr. Lali Singh, who is a political analyst as well. Thank you everyone for being a part of this conversation. Joyita, I'll begin with you. Well, once again, Delhi is going to be held at ransom. Arvind Kejriwal is in jail. The BJP is protesting that he should resign. The Aam Aadmi Party is protesting against the BJP. And the Prime Minister saying that his detention is unlawful and a construct of political intentional vendetta.
Well, I will look at it this way. At least Delhi is getting a taste of what politics is about. Delhi can be extremely a sanitized place. Of course, unless when we are Delhi residents, lives are made hell by all those farmers' protests and all. And if you remember that Shaheen Bagh thing that happened. Otherwise, Delhi is a very sanitized place. Sometimes you don't even get to realize that elections are happening, the Lok Sabha elections with assembly elections. Delhi goes on normal, nothing ever happens. So, in one way, this is, people may not like the word, quote unquote, it's actually fun at one level. All this mara-mari happening and all these things, but at the same time, it's very inconvenient for the commuters. So, Delhi, which is not used to this, it's very irritating for Delhi residents and I would say the whole of Delhi NCR residents.
But also talk about the reasons why these two parties are protesting. What do you have to say about Arvind Kejriwal's detention and this being nothing but, a politically motivated arrest?
Well, if you want to talk about that, there is a lot.
I don't want to talk about it. The Aam Aadmi Party is talking about that.
Yeah, but you see, the whole idea is to be Aam Aadmi Party, sole oxygen of the Aam Aadmi Party, and of course its supporters will not agree to it, is the oxygen is from the media attention it gets. Now what happens is that if Aam Aadmi Party, their main mobilizer, their main face, their main voice, the Delhi Chief Minister goes behind bars, it has to stay in the limelight, otherwise people will forget about them. Let's not forget about the fact that these elections are not about the Aam Aadmi Party. 2024. So anyway, there is not much attention on the Aam Aadmi Party, and then this happens and they will have to stay in the limelight, and it's all part of that. And it's, political parties, if their main leader is arrested, they have to protest, without going into, whether it is correct, incorrect and all that, they will protest, and obviously BJP will also have to counter. So that is what is going on.
Okay, but Mr. Akil Khan, this also brings us to the question, if the Chief Minister is behind bars, he's been elected by the people of Delhi. What happens to the governance of Delhi? Who's going to take care of that? Is there going to be a separate department that's going to take instructions from Mr. Arvind Kejriwal and run the city? It's not feasible, it's not sustainable, it's not viable, and it's not moral.
What election commission is doing? Such a unconstitutional things are happening in Delhi, the capital of India. I am very much concerned about the election commission's impartiality. What they are doing, they are just getting the instruction from Mr. Modi and then doing all sorts of these things which is not right. As the elections has been declared and all those formalities has been done, and now what BJP wants to do? You see, it is a totally illegal arrest. Everybody knows all over India that this is not the right approach, and even Germany and other countries are also asking what is this kind of
How is it
democracy
illegal
in
if the courts have been involved? How is it illegal? The courts gave a clean chit to the enforcement director.
You see,
How is it illegal then?
I expect from the channel like NewsX to please know everything. What is this PMLA? The PMLA Act is clearly showing they have amended in 2018 that a clause of 3 years imprisonment that was removed, and then anybody who is framed under this PMLA and this money laundering cases, he will not be given bail if this ED is protesting. So whenever it is going to the court, ED protest, no sir, no sir. So this is the law. This is a draconian law. This is unconstitutional law. Why this is this kind of law is being allowed by our Supreme Court and all those things? It is being under consideration by Supreme Court. And I would like to mention here one important thing, that the Supreme Court judge who was hearing this case, PMLA case, he was supposed to deliver the verdict on this. He was warned by the BJP government that your retirement after 2 days, you will have a problem in your pension, etc. Don't give result. Don't give any verdict on this. This kind of
is this documented, Mr. Khan? Is this documented?
This guy
is this documented? What you're saying, Mr. Khan? Is this hold on, Mr. Khan? Is this documented? What you're saying? Or are you saying this from the cuff?
In the TV channels and everywhere, you will see.
Sir, you can't just pull things out of a hat and say this is what the Supreme Court.
There are so many things
and
going on.
No, sir. Okay, I need concrete arguments here. I'm going to bring in Surinder Singh Lali into this conversation as well. Mr. Lali, what do you make of this? 1 second, sir. I gave you an opportunity. It's a full house. We have to entertain everyone. Please, I'll come back to you. I promise you that. Mr. Surinder Singh Lali, what do you make of this? What's happening here? Bhagwant Mann on your screens also protesting, being led away by the police. This tamasha that we are seeing in the capital city right now, whom is it hurting the most?
Really, it's such an honor and pleasure for me to be here. And I'm going to take this from the top as a citizen of Delhi. And since you mentioned Bhagwant Mann, congratulations, I think, with Arvind going behind bars or in ED's interrogation. Bhagwant Mann has finally become the Chief Minister of Punjab, because as of now, he was run by his chocolate proxy boy, which was Raghav Chadda. But Vineet, वो आए थे शराब खाने बंद करवाने, and I come in the capacity of being a citizen of Delhi because I don't want to get into the political too-too-मैं. वो आए थे शराब खाने बंद करवाने, पर सिक्कों की खनक सुनकर खुद ही शराबी बन बैठे. It's a theater of the absurd. I mean, as a citizen of Delhi, the gentleman has taken so many U-turns that now I don't think it's a U-turn anymore. It's just about roundabouts. He doesn't want to respond to, 8 or 9 ED summons. He doesn't want to do whatever he stood for. And as a citizen of Delhi, I'm taken for a ride. He goes out and opens his mouth and gets defamation against him, and then he hires the most expensive lawyers in the country. And Indian lawyers are probably, as expensive as anywhere across the world. Using my taxpayers' money. I mean, Jal Board, which was in profit when Sheila Dixit left, is absolutely down, to the ground. So for me, I think it's a theater of not just absurd, but a theater of the fraud, because I find it more entertaining the way Mr. Kejriwal and his drama.
But Mr. Surinder Singh Lali, you've lived in the United States for a very, very long time. There is a legal concept of being innocent until proven guilty. Isn't this the opposite? Just for argument's sake.
Absolutely, but Arvind doesn't believe. He says there is a difference.
No, I'm not talking about Arvind Kejriwal. I'm talking about anybody. Anybody. There has to be evidence, right?
Absolutely. And you have to respect the law of the land. Nobody is above that.
Okay.
But this gentleman seems to be making his own law, his own, little template. So for me, I feel absolutely cheated that, we were shown something else and now we are absolutely witnessing the
Prime Minister?
Why do you keep getting the Prime Minister in? Do you think he has time to figure out?
Prime Minister role.
Oh, come on. Come on.
You see,
This is a conspiracy theory. This is a conspiracy theory.
Version of all the people of you can go to any TV channels and you can see, you can search it, you can find it. If you are taking that impression from the TV channels, you will get this impression that PM is involved in all kind of these things.
No, okay. All right, Mr. Khan. Mr. Khan.
Was the Prime Minister involved in not him accepting the ED summons? Was the Prime Minister involved in whatever he does?
He is the Prime Minister of India? No.
Allow me to complete, sir.
Let me finish. Mr. Khan, I'll come to you. Mr. Khan, I'll come to you. You can write down all the pointers that you're hearing. You have a notepad, you have a phone, and you can respond to them unequivocally when I come back to you in the second round. Let Mr. Lali finish his point. Go ahead.
I feel when people run out of an argument, then they start attacking the Prime Minister or anybody else but the actual culprit. I mean, is the discussion about the Prime Minister or is it about Delhi and about what's going on with Arvind Kejriwal and the Tamasha him and his, turf war between Atishi Malvin and Mrs. Kejriwal that has been going on? These notes that are coming from the ED interrogation room where there is no computer, there is no typewriter. So I don't know if the Prime Minister is involved. Was the Prime Minister sitting in the Abkari deal, in the alcohol kickbacks and all that went on? So I think when people run out of a narrative or an argument, then they start bringing other things, which I feel are not. We can have a different pointed debate on that. But this time we'll discuss, let's be narrow about one point.
All right, Joyita, you wanted to respond to Mr. Khan and then I'll go to the rest of the panelists. Go ahead.
Well, while we are trying
He brought in the Prime Minister. He's saying he's personally looking at this matter.
I mean, I would, frankly speaking, I feel like laughing. Primarily because you see, when Mr. Modi is looking at winning definitely more than 300 seats, how many seats does Delhi have? 7. How many seats does Punjab have? 10, 13, I think, so total of 20 seats. Whether BJP, yes, of course, I'm certain BJP would like to win as many as possible among these 20 seats. But these 20 seats are not make and break for the BJP and definitely not for the Prime Minister. I don't think Mr. Kejriwal poses any sort of credible opposition
threat
to... yeah, that's the right word, credible threat to the Prime Minister. For the Prime Minister to get personally involved and tell the ED, listen, you are going to go and arrest him just a month ahead of the elections so that they can come and charge me with, vendetta politics and all.
This is
so
exactly...
the fact of, hold on, please let me talk.
Let her finish.
What you are not speaking about, Mr., is that Kejriwal deliberately did not ED summons, he did not take them seriously. I think it was the 9th summons. Since you are talking about the conspiracy theory of the Prime Minister being involved, now there is that other side of the conspiracy theory which also being talked about, which is like Kejriwal deliberately did not appear before the ED and he did it on the 9th summons closer to the elections. So he knew that he was going to jail. He tried to create some kind of a sympathy situation for him by getting arrested ahead of the elections. Just as that is a conspiracy theory, this is also a conspiracy theory. Let us not talk about conspiracy theories. Let us just stick to the
Let's hear it from Mr. Piyush Pant as well. Mr. Piyush, do you think that the Prime Minister is, personally involved in all of this? If this is vendetta politics, is that what this has come down to? That the PM is giving instructions? Has he also given instructions that Mr. Kejriwal should be remanded for 6 days and not more?
Well, Vineet, there is no evidence as such of Mr. Prime Minister giving instruction on that. But since Prime Minister is the head of the government and these agencies work under the central government, so indirectly you can derive this conclusion. But there is no proof for it. I don't think that there is a vendetta. But of course, the fact is that, and we are seeing that the Bharatiya Janata Party and its government wants to weaken the opposition parties. The target which they have put for themselves 370 or 400 together, they want to capture each and every seat. And this is possible only by weakening the opposition parties, and particularly the alliance which they have entered into. And since Aam Aadmi Party is partner of that alliance, so the Bharatiya Janata Party and its government want to discredit them with the charges of corruption. Whereas, the exposure of, these electoral bonds, they have shown that every party is in deep red as far as money is concerned, or taking money is concerned, or giving, some relief.
But Mr. Pant, there are a lot of other states where the BJP is not in power, and there is a animosity between the Bharatiya Janata Party and those state governments. You don't see chief ministers of those states going to jail, right?
Why Jharkhand is the recent example of this. Jharkhand is the recent
Not
example
all of them.
that,
Yes, of course. Jharkhand is there, definitely.
So many states. The Jharkhand is the latest example of this. So wherever Bharatiya Janata Party thinks that its hold will weaken on the political process or on the electorate, it starts, doing this sort of thing.
Okay. Understood. Let me get a response from Rishi Bagri as well. Rishi, do you think that this is becoming a big flashpoint, a big problem for the Bharatiya Janata Party, that they're continuously being accused of using these sacrosanct agencies to exact revenge from their political enemies?
Zinit, you just need to understand, if those agencies are working as a vendetta agencies, like just if you consider them like a vendetta agency, that they are working on the BS of the center and they are actually torturing the opposition parties, I would have believed all the allegation if the cash haven't been recovered from them. In last 10 years, around 122,000 crore of cash or cash equivalent has been recovered from these people, where the CBI and the ED was working. Agar nahi recover hota, I would have agreed to your point, boss, the center is taking up.
So are we also in fact establishing a surmise that everybody from the Bharatiya Janata Party is not corrupt?
No. If you're talking about this particular, I give you a very simple example, and don't go and don't generalize the thing.
Right. No, I'm just trying to have a balanced argument. I'm just trying to have a balanced argument in everybody's favor. Yeah.
No, I'm not saying that they are corrupt or they are not corrupt. That's not the question. The thing is that when 10 years of the UPA rules and the amount of ED and CBI did on the opposition rule states, they barely recovered 5,000 crore, and most were from DMK and other party who are the part of the India Alliance today. Now you compare to, the last 10-year data, it's 1,22,000 crore rupees of cash equivalent which has been attached by the ED or the CBI, and that money has been, nobody is claiming them back. That's the problem. Okay. Now, secondly, you come to the liquor policy. I give you a very simple example. What Arvind Kejriwal tried to do. They earlier in 2021, they said, boss, we need more revenue, we need more tax revenue, we need to issue more liquor licenses so that our sales doesn't go to the neighboring states like Haryana and Uttar Pradesh. We need those taxes. So they have issued hundreds of licenses. Now the sale of liquor has increased by 70%. Now, if you even apply a common, the excise collection should have increased to the proportionate of the hike increase in the sale of the liquor, but it didn't happen. In fact, the excise collection nosedived. Why? The reason was that instead of increasing the excise, they have actually increased the commission of this licensees. Okay. And this commission has gone to 50% of the commission has gone to the kickback to the Aam Aadmi Party, and the money trail has been established in all the.
Let's hear from Mr. Khan. He's been patiently listening to everyone. Mr. Khan, now is the opportunity, as I promised you. Go ahead.
Yeah. First of all, I would like to say very clearly that Prime Minister is scared of Arvind Kejriwal. And that's why he is doing for so many 2 years this case is going on, but nothing has come out, and Supreme Court has already said it will not stand in 2 minutes.
Why would the Prime Minister be afraid of Mr. Kejriwal? They don't even have a single seat in the Lok Sabha.
That's the problem now. They are thinking the BJP is going to be defeated in all the 7 seats in Delhi and all the 12 seats in Punjab. and other places. The most important aspect is Arvind Kejriwal's influence all over the country. His Bidli Pani Shiksha Swasth has been very well taken by the whole country, and that is scaring BJP, scaring Mr. Modi, because they are using all corrupt money for their own purposes, their own people, their own crony capitalists. 12 lakh or 16 lakh crores, where it has gone? They have written off. There are so many other instances, and the latest is electoral bond. BJP tried to influence SBI not to give the details to Supreme Court, but Supreme Court, CGI was very much
But why didn't these
confident that
parties,
he will get it, and he's got it.
Mr.
So
Khan,
now,
why didn't these parties complain of the electoral bonds when they were receiving money from it?
you see Arvindo Pharma, Arvindo Pharma, on whose complaint the case has been against Mr. Kejriwal, has been this is done on the instance of this Arvindo Pharma. He was arrested, and then when the electoral bond details came out, then it was clearly shown that BJP has arrested him, and then he has given then some 6,000 some crore rupees to BJP, and then they have taken his statement against Arvind Kejriwal, on whose statement Arvind Kejriwal has been arrested by ED. That is a false case, and that is also 100 crores rupees you are talking about. There are thousands of crores which has been proved by this electoral bond disclosure that BJP has taken, and BJP has did the biggest corruption in our country, and this has not been proved. 100 crore rupees which BJP is telling now that in 300 crore rupees, not even a single rupee trail was found. And there is no evidence against Arvind Kejriwal or Mr. Manish Sisodia or whatever, whomsoever they have arrested Aam Aadmi Party.
Right.
There are so
Let's
many
get a response from
instances.
Joyita on this.
If you
Joyita?
see the 10 years history of
No
the
evidence.
BJP, there are many MLAs
Mr. Khan, we have a
of
paucity
Aam
of
Aadmi
time.
Party has been implicated, but nothing, not even a single penny was
So what
found
Mr.
against
Khan
them.
is implying at this point in time, there is smoke but without any fire.
Well, I'm glad to know that Mr. Khan has investigated the case and come to that conclusion, because unless of course he is a spokesperson from the Aam Aadmi Party, but I was on the impression we are not, at least I am not.
I am an activist.
Okay, so I'm glad
Since
to
last
know that.
2010.
All right,
Yeah,
let her respond. Let her
5 days.
respond. Let her respond.
Yeah,
She was
the
India
thing
is
is,
corruption.
you see, the whole point
Don't
is
take
that
this personal, please. Come to the objective.
Mr. Khan, please let me conduct this debate the way I do. Let her
Please.
respond, please.
No, but it should not
Sir,
be
you're
personal.
interrupting. She's not getting personal, sir.
Yes.
I'm not getting personal. I'm
Not a
just saying,
spokesman.
since
Doesn't
I
matter,
am
doesn't
not a
matter.
spokesperson of any political party, so I am not going to defend or attack any political party in
Be
this
objective.
case. And the thing, yes, I will be very objective and say that the case has gone to court. The fact of the matter is that the ED is investigating. If we start casting aspersions on all our institutions, then this country does not exist. If everything about this country is corrupt, it is about, everybody is trying to give somebody money and they are scared of this. And as far as I am concerned, that is not sane and rational debate. The fact of the matter is that when the ED took the case to court, initially the Delhi High Court, the last summons that happened, Delhi High Court said, why are you trying to arrest him? And then they showed some evidence. We do not know what that evidence had, and the court refused to give Arvind Kejriwal immunity. Now, if the activists and political and apolitical activists start seeing everything through the lens of conspiracy theories, then sorry, this is not a debate. This becomes an exercise in ranting.
Mr. Surinder Singh Lali, if we are cooking up cases against the opposition, sending summons to them, our babus are basically going behind political parties without any evidence at the behest of a particular government, doesn't that render us nothing short of a banana republic, which we, of course, we are not?
And that includes the Supreme Court, because the Supreme Court was on record talking about the money trail. But Vineet, I want to make 3 brief points. One is to Mr. Khan that I think there is a conscious strategy by the Aam Aadmi Party to punch beyond their weight and go for the Prime Minister. because we've all known how ambitious Arvind Kejriwal has been. I mean, if anything, the I and DI alliance ought to be concerned, because the Aam Aadmi spokesperson on record saying that Modi is only scared of Arvind Kejriwal. So is she undermining all the other Indian alliance members? I mean, for that matter, at least Congress had 40 some seats, and this is Arvind Kejriwal with just one seat in Lok Sabha. And it's trying to say that he is intimidating somebody with 303 seats. That's one. You see, while I agree with you on a larger point, but please understand it is not the prerogative of the BJP or the Prime Minister to build a coalition. I mean, what ideology is the entire alliance on? I'm still very intrigued, if you can enlighten me.
Okay.
That what is the ideology? I mean, in Punjab, they are fighting, Aam Aadmi Party is fighting all seats independently, and in Delhi, they want to fight with Congress. So what are they telling their workers? And one last point. Rishi, Aam Aadmi Party, as I said, has been really, Arvind is really in a hurry to become the Prime Minister. So he really wanted the funds from wherever and whenever he could get. So much so that most of the Rajya Sabha members that he made, they haven't spoken for him. What does that mean? It was a transaction because they have not stood up. I mean, so much so that even Raghav Chadha, since the 8th of May, the 8th of this month, has been in London. And in fact, hobnobbing with separatists there. So I don't think it's, I don't hold the brief for BJP, but the opposition needs to get their act and ideology together, because this is a new informed India and they don't want to hear problems. They want to hear a solution. So what is the opposition offering?
All right, Mr. Lali, unfortunately, we've run out of time, but definitely we'll have more to talk about this throughout the next few days.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.